I used to watch a lot of gaming streams, and I saw that it was kind of like a good community, so I decided, let's try it out. Like, without no product experience, this is my first stream project. I just decided to give it a shot. So Twitch is a monster, and not gonna lie, being live and having people watching you feel like I was a little bit uneasy the first episode, but man, once you get the love and you see the people reacting on the chat, all that feedback, it just comes to be a part of you, and you actually enjoy having that crowd and that people energy. They're just so happy to have their songs play and have a chance to be listened to.
Hey everybody, it's me, Matt, AI DIY. AIDIY.tech is the website. I'm the AI music guy. I'm here to promote all of you that are putting in the hard work in the AI music. And today we've got Teemuth. Teemuth was one of my first features on the channel when I did my 5 featured artists. He's been a fan since. He runs his own thing on Twitch. He's got a lot to say. Welcome, Teemuth. Just tell us a little bit about yourself for people that don't know.
Hey man, thank you. First of all, Matt, thank you so much for the opportunity of showing over here in the podcast. You run an excellent show, and I've been a fan since, of course, you included me, but I didn't know you until then. So I become a fan afterwards. For those who don't know, I go by the alias of Teemuth. That's my AI music artist alias. I've been a creator with Sunno and with Fusion tools since the early days, since early 2024. And now I'm also running a midnight stream, which is to showcase artists' music and also have interviews like sometimes you do, Matt, on your podcast. So what I want to say, I manage IT projects by day and just dive into AI music by night.
Yeah, awesome. AI projects, they're fun. So this is the relief that we get from being on AI projects with scope creep and people that don't know what they want, basically.
Pretty much,
we can do our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the cool things that, like, I've watched a little bit about your shows, like I love, first of all, I love your setup, right? Like, one of the things we talked about pre-podcast, and I just want to get this out there for anybody who watches in the future. I like that you've set up early, right? You've got your studio, you're set up with a good camera, you got a good setup mic. And like I was saying earlier, and I know this isn't about what we're going to talk about, but we are. We're going to talk about studio stuff and podcasting and all that stuff. I'm sure it'd be awesome. We don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. It's going to be a wild ride. But one of the things that I like to talk about, and I'm starting to get a bit more into Instagramming daily and just talking about my thoughts about the channel and what people do, is like Teemuth here, he has an opportunity to be in front of a separate audience and hopefully get people to come to his channel. And that's awesome. You want to promote yourself, but I'm highlighting AI music artists. I'm going, dude, your story is fantastic. And the most important part is that person and their story. Mm-hmm. But you want to see it as a little bit of an opportunity for yourself, too. So you don't want to come in, with an interview with me. And I don't care. Like, I love you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just thinking for yourself with your camera like this and portrait mode and no mic and like pointing up like that and your background is dirty underwear. Like I said, it's fantastic that you're on there. You're there to represent yourself, and I love it. But just think about yourself a little bit, too, because people are going to have that one impression. That's your shot. Not a lot of people have an opportunity for a podcast or to basically say, come check out my channel. And if you look awesome, people are going to, who the freak is that guy? I want to go check out his stuff. And they're going to do it. So I love that you showed up with a little studio. I've watched some of your stuff before. It's awesome. I've never done Twitch. Let's talk about your journey towards what you're doing. So I only knew that you were doing AI music, and then all of a sudden you sent me you had a follow-up message like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, you got a show, and I was like, frig, man, like the different stuff scares the shit out of me before I start doing it. Like, I started jumping into YouTube, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and then I just started doing it, right? And then I'm like, I feel comfortable with that. Now Twitch scares the shit out of me. I don't know if I should do it. I know I should do lives. That scares the shit out of me too. Tell me a bit about that, right? You were an AI guy, now you're doing something else.
Yeah, I can start with a long story short, how I started this whole AI music journey. I got into Sunno just out of curiosity. I used to game a lot back in the day, and I was going through some rough time after losing a family member, and I found Sunno, and then Sunno gave me the space to vent and heal through music. It's like creating like a good artist voice, if that makes sense, on the IA world. I drop a ton of tracks. I built a following in Sunno over 10K followers.
Yeah, and your stuff's good. I like your stuff right from the start. Your stuff's good, and it's only getting better.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. I work with Sunno. I also work with Refusion, which has developed significantly over the past months. So it's good that we can have a little bit more competition. And then I was getting a lot of feedback from people and whatnot. Like, they're missing like a spotlight where people can actually hear them out and hear the music. And then I was thinking, I think like a good space where musicians, AI musicians, and whoever uses the AI space for their own creativity and their own venting process, will probably having like a stream will be a good thing. So I started investigating. I started reading up on Twitch streams. I used to watch a lot of gaming streams, and I saw that it was kind of like a good community. So I decided, let's try it out. Like, without no prior experience, this is my first stream project. I just decided to give it a shot. You can probably see me like I do really well with camera and whatever. But I'm a little bit insecure too. But my favorite saying is, I fake it till I make it. So let's just go with it and let's see what happens, you know? So Twitch is a monster, and I gotta lie, being live, and having people watching you feel like I was a little bit uneasy the first episode, but once you get the love and you see the people reacting on the chat, all that feedback, it just comes to be a part of you, and you actually enjoy having that crowd and that people energy. They're just so happy to have their songs play and have a chance to be listened to, you know?
Dude, I love it, man. I love that people, that you give the space to do that, and you can show that, and you can experience in real time. Yeah. Even though mine's pre-recorded, but you can experience in real time with the comments, that people appreciate that their stuff's being heard, and that people are listening to it. It's beautiful, and you're lucky. Like, I've been thinking about doing YouTube as opposed to Twitch, because YouTube's my space. That's where my audience is. It's like apps. Like, you don't want to ask people to install 800 apps because you have an idea, right? Like, my audience is YouTube. What do you think the difference between you? Yeah, we'll get into the community space too. But what do you think the difference between YouTube and Twitch are?
I think, and this is my thoughts, and I could be mistaken, of course. I think Twitch is good to start in that space, and then within time, multi-stream to YouTube and kind of like grow your fan base out of it. Twitch sometimes can be a little bit strict in some rules, but it also gives you the opportunity, once you reach affiliate, you can start doing your ad base monetize depending on views. There's a couple of features to where people can give you bits, which is kind of like a Twitch currency, and they can subscribe to your channel, and you also get some. But it limits sometimes to only that space. So I'm thinking, depending on how I continue to grow and how I see the volume going up, I'll probably start to multi-stream live on YouTube. But YouTube is also another monster, you know. So I gotta think things one by one. But I'm a fan of all platforms, you know. And anything that I can do, I'm be more than happy to do it. Yeah.
Well, and I'll just talk a little bit about that too, because there are platforms, like I use OBS when I record my recordings, but also you have an opportunity to use OBS Studio to blow it out to. I could blow it out to Twitch. I can put it out on Facebook. I can stream to YouTube at the same time. Algorithm, like anecdotally, like I haven't witnessed this because I haven't looked at it myself, but every single person I talk to in marketing and all my mentors, they say if you don't do it directly on the platform, the algorithm on any of those social things don't like it much. They won't push it out. If you want to have the best results with the algorithm on YouTube, you have to natively post from YouTube. If you want to, do really well on Twitch, you got to be. But if like the schedules, like if you want to schedule out all your social media posts, they say like if you use a scheduler, the platforms don't like it. They like it to be native. Like you'll get a result, but just not as good.
You learn something every day. I didn't know that, so I appreciate that knowledge.
Look into it. Don't take my word. I'm the people that I trust, like they're the ones that tell me that. But look into that. And I've heard several people sort of say that. And I look at the Reddit and all that too.
What I've seen that other famous Twitchers, especially in the gaming world, what they do is they pull up their live stream on Twitch. They do their 2-3 hours, sometimes even 4 hours, and then After they finish that, they get the VOD and they edit it and then they upload it to YouTube from that particular. So
they do their live on Twitch and then
Yeah.
they do the replay on that. That's good. Yeah.
I think I'm probably gonna go that route later on, but I'm still getting in the game, man. It's my first stream project, so I'm learning and getting punches at the same time. You know.
Dude, I love that. You know, and I talk a little bit about this with some of my other guests too. Is like, you know, I just turned 50, and you know, I spent most of my life like just trying to fit in and do my IT projects and be good at a job, and you know, get home and have dinner and go to bed. But since maybe in like the last maybe 10 years, I've enjoyed the hustle of it. I love like what you said, like you're just gonna do it and then go for it. I've got so many friends that say like I've had business partner in the past who's like, I'm gonna do my thing now, and I'm gonna, once I get a good camera and once I do a whole bunch of training videos and I learn how to run the stuff, I'm gonna do it. And it's like a year later and he hasn't really done anything really. And I'm like you, man, just do it. Like your first 100 videos, it's gonna be you and your mother that watch that video. So
If lucky.
Figure something, yeah, if lucky. Yeah, I've been bugging my mother for a year to watch it. She only watched one. Like, I like that one you did with Dom. Like that's. But I love that. I love that we're trying sort of stuff, and that's why I love. I guess that's why I really love the AI music space, is because it's a whole bunch of people that have never done anything like this before. They're super brave in putting stuff out, and they're just doing it. And whatever it's, maybe for the first time ever, they're going to realize, because you see people with 1 million followers, and you go, oh, that's 1 million followers, and the impression is because you just found them now that they've always had 1 million followers, but they've probably been doing that for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, like their first experience with like grinding it out and not having any feedback and understanding what it feels like to put something like, dude, this is the best song I've ever made. Like, everybody's going to love it. And you put it out there, and you're like, nobody. And it's just because you haven't been around for a while. You haven't grounded out, and you haven't learned some lessons, and you haven't earned that space yet.
Yeah.
Right?
And also one of the things that I don't criticize, but I always try to enforce, don't get always carried down by what you read. You also got to go and feel it for yourself, get some punches, get some experience so you can learn how to better approach and how to better attack this situation, or this is a great marketing opportunity. Let me jump in it like without thinking. And sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, man, to be honest.
Yeah. And just know on what you're saying there, right? Like, you could totally stuff it up, and you could know you totally stuff it up. And there are people on the internet just waiting to see a little imperfection or something you haven't done right, and just to give it to you, to make you, the only reason they're doing it is to make you feel like shit.
Yeah.
And and you just got to realize, like, they have a miserable freaking life, man.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Did you enjoy like getting past your boundary and going and doing your marketing thing and maybe stuffing it up in some way? Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Like, you never did it before, and it feels good. Don't let some douchebag take that away from you.
I agree. And also, man, I'm a firm believer of love. So depending on the love that you get from the community, just focus on giving it to that people. The negative is going to be always all around, you know. Sometimes you cannot change that, and then the internet has given the power to those people to have a voice. So what does a bully want? He wants attention. So if you get a voice to that person, you're going to give him the spotlight, and you're doing it what he wants. So just ignore and just go with the people that actually love what you're doing, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes people just don't know how to give feedback, and you got to understand the place they're coming from. They're just being dicks for the sake of being dicks, you know. You got to understand that. But sometimes people are just not. Sometimes people are blunt. You just got to understand that, and not take it personally. Yeah. But like, let's talk about that community stuff. Like you're talking about, like you're building around your community, and I'm building around mine. Like, I sort of started my channel as like AI tools in general. I kind of accidentally stumbled upon AI music, and I was like, fuck, I would love to just build it, because I saw what it was, right? And if you could see the stories that come through my website of people who talk about who they are and the challenges they have and the things they've overcome, like, you wouldn't get anywhere near the amount of trolls and stuff, or people like traditional music people like shitbagging people doing AI music. If you saw the place people are coming from, and a lot of times. And I like to build on that. That's why I like to know who the community are, and like what you said, like, coming from a positive place, I try to come from that place as well. And sometimes it's not always easy, right?
It's
Like
not.
I do my segment, my 5 featured artists every week. And the idea is, do you know who Joey Swoll is?
Not at the moment, but probably I could
Yeah.
have.
I'll just frame it anyway, because even if
Yeah.
you knew, maybe other people don't know. I've talked about it a little bit. So he's this guy on the internet. He's this dude. He gets on Instagram every day, and and you know, he's a gym junkie, and people will go into the gym and they'll be filming, and they'll be doing the filming or whatever, and someone will walk in front of the camera because it's a gym, and that person will shame the person that walked in front of the camera. And Joey Swoll will just go off, like absolutely off the person with the camera for shit. It's like, it's a public gym. Film at home if you don't have a problem with it. He has a right to walk through it. And then like 800 people will find that person's Instagram page and shitbag that person to death, right?
Oh wow.
So that's the response, and sometimes it's good because you're angry at that person. Like, yeah, they should be able to use the gym without kid. I'm trying to be the opposite of that, right? I'm trying to be, you know, this is everybody. This is 5 things for you to pay attention to every week. Follow those people, and I'm trying to grow that army of people. So after a year, it's not just, you know, 5 people who I've got like 20 people every week that will check out everybody's stuff and post. I want it to be 100 people. When I say I'm featuring this song, but it's tough, and I get frustrated, and when I see that not happening, my head starts going negative. Like, dude, like people are just in it for themselves and they don't care about other people. What is this world? Right? It's hard to snap out of it. You know, it's hard to snap out of that.
It is. And by the way, I love that you do that 5 spotlight artists. I think it's a great thing. I really appreciate that. It's one of the things that always gets me back to watch your channel, because I feel like for the AI world, you're doing something relatively super positive, man. And I applaud you for that. And I get it. Some people are just interested in progressing themselves, but what they actually miss is that by helping out others, you're growing as well as a person, as a community member, you know. And it took me a while to understand that. And since I started, my idea with the Midnight Tea stream is to have every single artist, AI artist, yeah, you can use Sunno, Refusion, Udio, but I want them to be all together so we can enjoy the music as a community. Why? Because there's also a big skepticism with AI music with musicians. So we already got I don't want to say an enemy, but we got a big crowd to make them understand what this technology can do for them. And then we also going to be fighting ourselves. There's no logic in it, you know?
No, that's right. And that's one of the reasons I started, once I was thinking about going to AI music exclusively for this channel, was I saw people in some of the Facebook groups in the AI music, like, I'm not sharing anything for you, then you're going to get better than me. And I'm going, well, I was like, no, man, that's absolutely not the way to think, because like, if you guys want to improve, you can't do it in a bubble. You can't be sitting there learning everything on your own. You have to share. But I want to talk about that common enemy too, like with musicians, right? Like what I like to call traditional musicians, like in whatever way. And mind you, there's a lot of traditional musicians in the community that use AI as part of it. I could show you hundreds of them that I talk to.
Yeah,
You know?
100. I don't like to say they're a common enemy. It's just people not understanding how this music can enhance their even process of doing music. You know, if that makes sense.
But I want to talk about that common enemy too. And like I got a half hour to drop my daughter off at school, and I got a half hour coming back. And I try to, when I'm on the way there, pay attention to her and to have. But on the way back, it's very lonely, and I'm deeply thinking about AI and that sort of thing. And I think, you know, why are we a common enemy? It's like we all, like the traditional musicians and us, we grew up all with the same heroes in music. We all love music, and our heroes are the same people, and we love music. Like, what is it to them? I'll give examples like of generic examples, but many times have come up in my inbox, right?
Yeah.
People who, you know, when they were just out of high school, they were in rock bands doing glam metal and up on stage, and they get married, and then, you know, it's all fallen away. And like, I think a lot of people in both of our audience would be able to relate to this. You know, you get married and you have kids, and the things that you love to do, you don't have time for anymore, right? And you go this whole thing, and you spend that whole time reminiscing and wishing you could go back in time and experience those things again. And a lot of people, when their kids grow up and they find themselves in the space in front of the computer and they discover AI music, they light up again. My God, like, I can be involved in music again, whether it's like fully AI with ChatGPT and putting it into Sunno, or they get on the drum kit again and they feed that into the thing. And it's like life breathing back into them. And there's a lot of other ways that it sort of works too. Do you find that? Like, do you talk to some people that have been through that?
Oh yeah. One of my favorite people in the Sunno world is a good friend of mine. It's like you. Like, he got married, he got kids, so he kind of lost that passion of playing in bands because, hey, life hits you hard. You got to take care of your responsibilities, right? But when he met Sunno and also met Refusion, that passion of him, because he's a good lyricist, came back to him, and he's just been swinging it nonstop, putting a lot of music, and he's also gonna start going to the studio again to actually work on his music with combining with air music. So for me, that's a success story, and I think that's what's all about. Instead of having that so much backlash, we just gotta find people's passion. Like for me personally, I didn't have a background in music. Like, I cannot sing for shit. I never understand. I never learned an instrument, but music for me has always been a backbone of my sanity, my mental sanity.
Yeah.
And then when I met Sunno, bro, I was like, poof, my world changed, So let me play with it, and hey, I've been on it ever since. It's that dopamine hit which you cannot never quit,
Yeah, but it's a good dopamine hit. It's a
Yep.
creativity. Like one of the things I always used to start off, and I've stopped actually talking about this, but it's true, is that creativity part. Like, a lot of people are being creative for the first time and understanding what it feels like to be creative for the first time. Like, oh my God, I am a creative person, even if it's assisted with ChatGPT or whatever. Like I always, talk about, like, there's one thing, and everybody starts off this way. You push a button, make me a song, right? Make me a song about butterflies. Great. And you go, holy crap, a song about butterflies. That's it. Then you can only do that so many times before you go, like, what else can I do with this? And then it evolves, and it's evolved to the point, like, I am heavily involved in my lyrics. I still use ChatGPT to write, but I understand what clunky lyrics feel and sound like, because I've done it that many times. And when you get into it, there's that creativity. And then the more creative you are with it, like you said, you get that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And that's where it's tough because, people that haven't been creative, haven't been in those space, they maybe think, I put this out there, nobody's listening to it. It's shit, or no one ever will. But that's not the case. You just got to persevere.
People listen, and you never think that they don't listen. They do. Like, I got emails from people out of nowhere that I never met or never even heard of. It's like, bro, your music is fire. Or, oh, hey, I want to see what's your secrets of doing prompting and whatnot. And there's no secret of prompting. It's more just being creative, having a structure. And then what you said is not only just clicking the create button and let's see what song comes. You can also upload samples. Let's say, for example, if you're musicians, you can get a guitar riff and upload it in Sunno riff and just go bananas and see what else you can get combined. Now we up to the point where you can upload your own vocals and see if AI music, the model can kind of model your voice and create a song of it. So, man, the possibilities are endless, right now.
Yeah. It's funny you say about that because with the voice, there's nothing that blows people's minds more in this space is the people who've never done music before and they figure out that they can upload their voice and they can send it. That is like winning the lottery to so many people. Right?
For real.
Oh my free! The worst thing though is most family members don't give a shit. It was like, check out what I did. So that's when this community stuff's good, right? Because we care and it's all good and we'll have a listen.
100%. And like I said, I also created that midnight tea stream because, man, the amount of music that is being launched on those platforms, it's really hard to kind of keep track of it. So that's why.
Talk about it because talk about what it is and how you're promoting it with that.
Man, what Also, what made me create it is because there's too much music going around on those platforms, right? So it's really hard to keep track. So, and I also want to listen to see, because I like to listen to people's creativity and see what they're doing. So my idea is to have at least twice a week. You can call it like listening online parties where people submit their songs. I play them. Sometimes I give them feedback. Sometimes it's just for fun. So we can give that person a chance to be heard, and also for me to listen to it, because I like to call it that 2 hour, 3 hour stream, my therapy time, where I can just listen to music and see the creativity of people, because my music, I listen to it every time because, of course, I create it. I'm looking ways to enhance it. But other people's music, with how busy life is, work, my better half, doggos, all that, sometimes it's really hard to kind of like keep up. So with this stream, man, it's making me engage a lot with artists, and the type of music that is being laid out, and the quality sometimes, and the creativity. It's just crazy. That's why I'm loving that stream each day,
You know what I thought? It aligns with something I've been thinking for a while, right? Mm-hmm. Like I've always been into music, like you. It's seen my therapy. I've been very interested in like the stories behind people. The same with sports. Like I almost prefer, hearing, like, seeing the real life story with athletes more than I like the sports themselves, like the grinding out. And all that
I agree. Stuff. I agree.
Yeah. And one of the things I've always been interested in, like for years, is you hear about like musicians, especially like in the 70s and early 80s, where they were all just together and they'd be at each other's house partying, smoking whatever they smoke, and then having some drink, and then jamming sessions, and then just talking about music and being friends, and that, what you're talking about right there, is the 2024, 2025 in the future. What is now? People are working from home. They're ordering Uber Eats as opposed to going out. They're making music on the computer. So how do we become those 60s, late 70s, early 80s, doing, smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and relating to each other and passing on information and giving each other tips? This is how, like, your stream, my community. And if I make a video about something, I'm happy for someone to go, well, actually, there's something even more to know. And you can see people will respond to that, and people take that on board. That's why I like doing this as well, is people will get some stuff out of that. So this is like what you're doing with your thing, with your featuring, and people are coming on and sharing. That's what that is to me. That's what that is. That's immediately when I saw that. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and I also got a segment on the weekends, which is called Spilling the Tea with T, and it's mostly having a conversation with an artist, getting to know their workflow, getting to know them, and then I'll showcase a few songs, but it's straight conversation. Like, I really love that interview aspect of having a good conversation with somebody in the same space, because, man, you get to know them and you get to love what they're doing too, and you also give them that exposure so other people can know and open that window as well.
Yeah, and you got to reach out. You can't just throw your stuff out there. You got to reach out to guys like Teemuth, to you and to me, and you got to take your chance. You got to be brave. The worst thing, I think, is people go like, if I do that, it won't matter anyway. Like, I never win anything or a competition. Like, put it out. There's a dude that I have that follows me, right? And I haven't heard from him lately, but he's called Call Me Tim. He has the most thought-provoking lyrics based on a lot of trauma that he had in his life, and it's really clean stuff, and it's clean music. Mm-hmm. But he's trying to work through a lot of, like, no one's going to like what I have, and I'm only just me, and all that stuff. And I'm hoping he sort of works through it, and I hope he reaches out to me again. But that's what you got to do. You got to be on stuff like you and talk to people like you and have other people get excited, and that sort of goes with how to promote yourself.
Yeah, my best advice to that person, if he ever watches, like, fake it till you'll make it, man. You never know if you don't try it, Like, I didn't know that I was going to start getting so much love and the views sometimes. Hey, nothing compared to you, because you got a bigger channel than me, but seeing that it grows and that people actually enjoy it, I would never knew that if I didn't throw myself to the ocean and try to swim,
It's so funny because I watch yours. I see your live thing, and you haven't been doing the lives for that long. And I go, dude, there's a lot of interaction there, and I constantly think, and like you said, I've got an audience that I've built over time, And I always think like, oh, what's the point of doing lives? Like it's just going to be me in front of the camera and no one's and I have an audience. Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't be thinking that. But also like if I do lives, I want to have consistent. So I'm not like, oh, I have no subject matter this week. I don't want to do it. It has to be at a point where I feel comfortable that at least once a week, I'm going to have content. And I actually gave it deep thought over the weekend, and I will. And definitely inspired by what I saw on yours. I'm going to be doing YouTube lives, and what I'm going to be doing. And I thought, dude, like people out there that are, and I've sort of touched on this a little bit before, are just bagging the shit out of people in AI, but people are missing the point about what AI music is. And it's a lot of people that are working through shit or have had shit before, or they're rebuilding their confidence. And the stories that I get, people aren't seeing. I'm seeing them because I asked for them, right?
Yeah.
People are just doing their stuff. I want to talk through people's stories and hear people react to them, see in real time, and maybe have a guest on there and talk through that as well. Like there's super powerful meaning behind stuff. And I will handpick those people out and do podcasts with them. But there's so much more that, like, people that are deathly afraid will not be in a podcast. There's no way they're afraid they can't talk. They're shy. But I would like to talk through their stories to let people know that there's other people out there like you that are like that.
Yeah, and to be honest, Matt, I even took a challenge because English is not my first language. It's not my native tongue language. Spanish is, and sometimes I feel like I can stutter words. But when people hear you out there, you're organic and you're legit, like you're real, they don't even care about that. They're just gonna vibe with it. So that's another insecurity that I had before starting it. But man, again, fake it till you make it. You cannot let sometimes the fear get the most out of you, because if not, you will not do anything. Do the opposite. Embrace the fear and do it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good set. X Blue Division. I'm gonna look at the camera out here. See, Teemuth isn't a English first language person, and he's doing it. So if he's doing it, you have to do it. So X Blue Division, if you don't get on here, I don't know. I'm gonna launch Teemuth after you, but dude, like, like your English second language thing, I didn't even cross my. I actually like getting people with different accents on the show. Like I like to show the diversity of it. I've had people speaking German. I have had people
That's
Spanish
awesome.
accents and all that. I love that it sort of brings everybody together. I like the diversity of the accents. It makes me really happy to hear more than just my we'll call it Canadian. It's an American accent, but my Canadian accent.
That's awesome.
I like to hear
man.
more than just myself talk. Even though I'm talking a lot during this podcast, which is generally I don't like to, but
Hey, that means we're having a good time. So
I love it. I love this
that-
conversation. It's making me really happy.
same over here, man. I really appreciate it. And again, my vision in general is just to make AI music legit. Like a good entertainment lane. And also, man, again, I would love to collaborate with real musicians and try to help create, speed up that creative process and break the limits of what music can be. With AI, clearly there's no limit. So why not?
Yeah.
Let's take advantage of all and create something even better.
Yeah. Well, where do you see it going in the future? Like, I have my thoughts about stuff. Just assuming that it doesn't somehow all get shut down by some legal mumbo jumbo. Which,
Yep.
like I've talked about this before. Once the toothpaste out of the tube, it's really hard to push it back in. So.
And to add to that, I love what you're doing with those videos, that you're bringing the information out of the people so people can understand. Because sometimes people read and they assume other stuff, and you're bringing how it is. So I really appreciate you for doing that on your videos, man.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think people have something in their head, and then when they see something, they automatically form whatever they see into what's already in their head.
Yeah.
I try to be as objective as possible, and be real about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think right now we're limit because of that lawsuit and what's going into place. I think the resolution of the lawsuit will actually set in place what will be the future of this AI music. But regardless, if they want to stop it or you can say review it or put limits to it, the technology is there, so it's not gonna stop. That's my thoughts.
I've got on good authority people that are actually in those spaces right now that don't want to come on camera because they're literally in those spaces, and they don't want to be seen within the AI community because those spaces are very much in legal battles with that. But inside, like I've asked them, like, well, okay, what can you tell me that I can share with the community that is legit, right? That you don't want to say on camera, but can be said. And what was told to me was these platforms, even though like they're joining forces with Sunno and Udio with a minor stake, at the same time they're making their own platform. And this is something I suspected was going to happen as soon as they put the lawsuit together, is that they want to have their own platform. So they're training on material they already own. So in that aspect, it's like there's no legal battle. They already own the rights to that music. So they can have their own AI music platform. And because they have so much money behind them anyway, you know, there's not going to be a new update. They can already learn. They can basically start where Sunno and Udio are. That's a standard, and we'll just basically kick the shit out of it. And we don't have to fight legal battles because it's our own stuff.
Oof, that's interesting. And I don't know why I didn't think about that in the past. But yeah, the technology's out, and each day they're learning how to make better use of this technology. So that makes total sense what we just said. You just mentioned.
Yeah. Well, imagine you're, you know, Sony or Universal, whatever, and it's like, this is like sport. You got your scouts, you know, like, oh, go to, I don't know how they do it. Go to these 50 clubs and find the next superstar, which is probably them watching YouTube, whatever. You don't have to have those anymore. Now, all of a sudden, like Sony themselves can just go to their own thing and they can create their own awesome band. And because they have, you know, $1 trillion, they can also market that band on top of it and do their own personas and all that stuff, and Universal can do the same. This is what sort of worries me. It's going to leave us sort of behind. Is we're doing all this stuff to get that stuff out there. A lot of and there's different reasons, but some people don't give a shit. Like they'll put it out. They're not looking to make any money out of it. They just want to be seen by a few people, or the process of writing makes them feel good, and they'll do it after work or when they put their kids to bed or whatever. But there's people that want to make a career out of it too, and that's fine. They're trying to navigate the way to do that. My worry with like Sony and Universal and whoever else, the music studios doing that, is that it will not give us the opportunity to do that. I mean, they might hire some of us to work at Sony and run and push the buttons to make those super bands. That might be what it is, but in the most part, there's a chance that we could be left behind in this.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. And again, unfortunately, that's not in our hands. What we can do more is to push, make people understand what this awesome technology can do to a normal life person, and see what happens. You know, again, I like I mentioned before, and like I agree with you. We will know the exact future until we'll see what happens with the resolution of those lawsuits and whatever Sony and those music companies do. You know.
Way to keep me in check, Teemuth, on the negative thought process. You're right. You're right. We can only see what happens, right? I'm just trying because I'm just trying to look out for people, right? So I just try to think, because I've got to do content based on what my theories on stuff, and I try to be objective as possible. I try not to be too much doom and gloom when I do it. I just try to think what realistically could be the case. At the same time, love the fact that we have this technology to use. Like I see people like, what a ripoff. Why would I not just use the free version? I think like, dude, like you can have like whatever amount of iterations for $10 a month. Like,
yeah,
like you look at like people that have rented studio time. It's like $10 like for 30 seconds to get a band in there and the headaches with it. You can spit out like 4 songs in 2 minutes. Like it would take like days to do that otherwise. For $10, like, dude.
And then the free version too, you get only access to the older models. You don't get access to the new models, which the new models are going crazy each day. Believe me, like the vocal dynamics, the sound dynamics, how it's just getting crazy to a level where you're like, whoa, it actually sounds awesome, and you get pumped. You know, with the free version, you only get access to the old versions, which they're exciting, but they're not too exciting for the normal Sunno user. You know.
Yeah, well, to the normal Sunno, so I have been involved in an interstate move for the last month. So And when I say that, people like, okay, Matt's been moving. That's an interesting thing. That must be difficult. The reality of it is it's hard, man. Like it's been taking every single. I had to record a few things in advance. I tried to, because I don't want to have a gap in the content. I tried to do stuff while I was on the road, but I had to take. It was 6 23-hour drives with trailers back and forth and unpacking.
Wow.
So it was a big move. In that case, and I'm glad you're here because you mentioned the versions of Sunno. I have not had a chance to scratch my ass. Never mind check out the new Sunno version 4.5 plus, which I've seen popping up. Have you tried the new version of 4.5?
Yeah, I actually published a song today in my Sunno profile with that 4.5 plus. Man, it has a lot of great vocal dynamics. It has a great overall sound. You can combine with a lot of tools as well because you got a little studio which you can bring the stems, you can bring vocals and all that. But the sound difference in vocals is
From 4.5 to 4.5 plus?
Yeah, because it has more depth. Like the song that I did was kind of like those rock bands, and how that vocal makes that higher note. It was just really impressive. It's gotten way better. Of course, it's still learning, so you might still hear some sort of noise, but you can play around with that. Overall, I think 4.5 plus has improved a lot in those vocalizations and dynamics of the songs.
Yeah, and of course you're going to get people saying, well, I still use 3.5. Like, I don't know how. Like, maybe it's... I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
like, people do. Like,
this
is bullshit. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just some people don't like change, or people just automatically get their backs up about something. There could be legitimate, too. Like I know maybe in some of the genres I don't play in, maybe 3.5 works better. I know a lot of, people have been talking about EDM working a lot better in the older versions, or sort of like electronica music. Like I've played around with a little bit. I don't find it the case, but I'm not in that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in different areas that aren't that every day.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I also talked with one good EDM dubstep creator, and he tells me the way to actually make something is just combine your sounds with a DAW and then upload it to Sunno, and you're gonna get a great sound out of it. Because people also forget these models. They're just based by sound waves and getting data sets. Okay, let's make this listen. Sometimes they can make a little noise. So if you bring a little template, I like to say, beforehand, and put a little sound or whatever, that will actually make the sound go better because it already has kind of like a way of making the song. And some people forget that. So I use a lot of uploads. I use a lot of samples as well. And that helps improve that sound enhancement as well. And you combine an actual instrument with AI music, which you can show you that the possibilities are endless in this AI music technology.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you show that on one of your live streams sometimes. Like I've had some pushback because I've talked about this. Well, why don't you and I get together and we'll make a song live.
Yeah, that works.
While we're going, like I've talked to other people and they said, oh well, because there's already so much hate, I don't want people to get the impression that you can just spin up a song and really, because that'll just give more evidence of that. But I just think who cares? You know what I mean? Like I think it'd be cool if you it's one thing for us to sort of talk about this, but we're talking and I've got it in my imagination your process as you're talking about it. But how cool would it be for people? Because people learn. Like I said, there's a lot of people that haven't done any of this, and to be honest, I haven't played music or been involved in sheet music and being up on stage and performing since I was in high school. I think when I was 8 years old till probably 19, I played the trumpet. And then when I left high school, that was all gone, and I just sort of listened to music and all that. So there's some people that haven't even done that. So to be able to maybe watch what you're saying, upload a sample, what does that even mean? I don't even know how do you even get samples, and how do you upload that to Sunno, and what do you we were talking before about voicing, putting your own voice, and that's a magical thing. Hopefully someone picked up on that today and said, you can do that, and sort of grinds out and figures out how to do that. Maybe you should do that. You've got your own way to do it. If you did that, especially since you have a live audience, some people might go, didn't even know.
You just gave me a good idea for my next segment.
There's some content. You got to pay me for the idea, man.
We'll set up a percentage. Don't worry, Matt.
We got it. Damn, there was nothing in writing beforehand, so I guess I just farm my ideas. But that's what it's here for. And actually, like that goes. I don't think I've ever talked about this live on the podcast, but I have certain ways that there's a rule based thing that I approach every one of these podcasts. And two things is I want me to learn something as I have this conversation. There's other things too, and I want the audience to learn something. But I hadn't really thought about giving away free content. That's not really part of my thing, you know? Yeah, but I'm glad it is now. That'll be number 7, free content.
You learn something every day, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Cool. Nice. So what sort of things are you looking, besides that, showing the process, what sort of things are you looking for the future for your podcast? Or for anything? Like, what are you doing?
Podcast for now, like I said, I'm still winging it, still getting to get my groove. I feel like
that's awesome.
Like the showcase are needed. I also would love to have kind of like what you do in the podcast session, but more talking with people in the ad world, even artists or developers. So I got a few things cooking up. We'll see how that goes. As far as music, I'm working on a side project using both Sunno and Refusion because I'm a subscriber to both. I don't know if you know the harsh news about this band called the Velvet Sunshine that got a million.
Sundown. Yeah, no, there's a bit about that. I've actually put a call out for them to interview me, but there's a lot of black magic mystery that's going around behind the scenes that we don't even know, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. Maybe there's none. Yeah. Well, I'm giving you the opportunity, but go ahead, tell me your take.
What? I still don't know because I didn't hear from them until I see the Spotify numbers and whatnot. So hey, props to them that they found a way to get those following numbers. But thanks to them, it kind of motivated me to kind of like create also EP around a band take, which is kind of more on the grungy indie AI music. And I call them the Teen Tomes. So I'm working on that project also on the side and see how it goes. It's just for fun, And I created a lore, a history about everything. And my disclaimer will be, this is AI content. People, don't take it personal, Like, just leave that down and just play with it,
Well, the personas are the big thing. That was something I remember. Like one of my mentors, when I showed him my first song, he goes, "Dude, if you can make everything sound like it's coming from a band, that's going to be good." And he specifically said, like, no one's going to give a shit if it's, in his words, fake. Yeah. At the time, he goes, "K-pop's all fake, but it's like the most successful, stuff in the world,
for real,
right?"
Yeah.
So and then eventually, when Sunno,
K-pop is all the way up, So it's successful in that genre.
And no one gives a shit. It makes people happy, and they do it. They don't go, "Yeah, but what computer did you do it on?" And something like, no, like I always use the analogy that like my accountant comes back with the tax return really quick. He's done my taxes, he's out of the way. I've got a return. I'm done for a year. I don't go, "But what accounting software did you use?"
Yeah, for real. Real.
I don't really care what accounting is. It's like you did the job,
So yeah, but that got me motivated in that personas feature. That's why I'm doing it. So we'll see how it goes. It's just for fun,
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Cool. Look, what was I gonna? I think we sort of run. I don't want it to run over an hour. I notice when I get over an hour, people look at the timestamp on the video, and they go, "Not gonna watch that." So that's when the numbers straight drop. And I love this conversation. I think there's so many things that people can take away out of this one, and I want people to go back to your channel and sort of watch your channel. And that's the thing too. Like, we're not in competition. Like, we're part of a grassroots thing to get this thing moving. So the more people that do it, and the more people that do it well, and the better we get at doing this, the better it is for the community, and the better it is for us. Actually, one question I did want to ask you. Wanted to ask you, because this is the hard thing about YouTubing, right? Because that the YouTube money isn't like where the money is. Like, I could basically, what I make in a month, I could buy myself coffee for a couple weeks, right? So that's the reality of it. And what I lose on it, because I have to pay people to do the editing and releasing and stuff, because I don't have time to do other stuff. So every once in a while I have someone, "Look, I'll work with you, and I'm a big name in this thing," and you try to, and then it sort of fizzles away or whatever. Have you had people reaching out to you?
Yeah, some, but for now I decided to keep it organic, because also not sure how YouTube works with monetization and whatnot. Twitch takes a big chunk out of it. Like
YouTube does too. Yeah.
For every sub, it takes me like half of it. If I get bits, it takes like 30 or something. And the ads revenue is good, but you need a good amount of followers there. So right now, I'm not making to do a professional Twitch or streaming. There's more of my passion and just growing, you know. Yeah. So that's why I kept it kind of doing it my own. I do have 2 or 3 friends that help me out, but it's volunteer work. It's not something that I got demand to do them. So that's why I mostly just do it myself right now, because there's not a big gap in monetization like people something like when you got a stream open up, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I think people don't realize, because I didn't realize that, you know, you think you get a few subscribers and you're going to, you know, put your pool in the backyard and you're going to have 5 rental properties or something like that. But
not at all.
It's not that at all. It's like the money comes from, I mean, people do. Like if I do this for 10 years, like I could probably end up buying a pool or something, whatever. But, I mean, you can't have that be the focus, though, can you? Like nope. I have started things before, like with YouTube channels or something else before, because I see somebody else making a lot of money. I want to do that, right? And it lasts for 3 weeks, and I can't get out of bed to do it anymore. And I've always heard, and I've always sort of known in some way that it has to be something that you believe in, you enjoy thoroughly, because you can't be consistent about it otherwise. Like in part of it, like even though I have enjoyed this, there was part of it I was starting to fall off, but I wasn't enjoying the video editing part of it. Like I enjoy it, but I'm not super professional about it. So I've had to have someone take that task on. But as far as the content creation and the reaching out and the talking to people and the stories and the conversations, that drives me to do this every single day. Like I can, now that I have someone taking on the video editing part of it, not that I hated that, but it was a grind and it's not what I was passionate about. This is the thing that people need to realize. Like, you can't do it. I mean, I suppose if you're like in desperate poverty, you could pretty much do anything, but that's not the case for most people that get on YouTube, that connect with people. But like, to me, I mean, do you find that to be the case?
100%. And it's like, for me, your video editing for me is trying to promote and keep up. Like, I don't take so much passion of it. I take passion more in streaming and talking to people. You know, in that way. So that's something that I might need to look into outsourcing in the future. But for now, I'm grinding because, hey, I just started like 2 months ago. So it's still in the early stages. But
I was grinding that way for the first 6 months before I was saying it was starting to affect how I could consistently put out stuff, because I thought this is my process after 6 months. I can't bother filming that because I know I'm going to film it and then have to start editing it, and the editing is going to take me like a full day. So when I started thinking that, I thought, you know what? Do I want to continue this? Yes. If I want to continue this, can I continue to do that? No, I'm going to have to get someone else to do it, and that's where I went. And it costs a lot of money. It costs me way more to run the channel than it does with money coming in. So if look down below, buy a T-shirt or do a donation if you can. That'd be fantastic. Or even if not, I'd appreciate if you leave a donation to the John Fawcett Foundation, because people that have to have their cataracts removed need the money way more than I do. So 100%. It'd be great if you do one or the other.
Yeah, that's a great cause, man.
Real, Well, I'll tell you one of the things I'm planning. But before, I don't want to keep blowing this out. Like I said, if people aren't going to watch it, if it blows out to an hour and a half. And it's the only reason I cut it, because I could talk to you for hours. But
me too.
I'll just awesome. We'll have another conversation off air, whatever, at later at a date anyway. But I do want to talk about what I'm planning on doing with the John Fawcett Foundation, because there's parts to it. I don't talk enough about the different parts to it. So there's another organization that relates to the John Fawcett Foundation, which is called Love Heart Travel. Now, Love Heart Travel, all the proceeds that you give to Love Heart Travel go to the John Fawcett Foundation. But what they do is, and which I've done before, is I gave the money to them, they put to them, but it's a certain size donation. At that time, it was a $1,500 donation that you'd have to give at a minimum. I think it's a bit more because the costs have gone up. And what it does is allow you to be part of this, and you got to make your way to Bali or Indonesia, right? Mm-hmm. You get there and you get in a bus of a whole bunch of other. The point is to fill up the bus with a whole bunch of other people that care enough to do at least a $1,500 donation, which I think it's a bit more now. And then for me, it was a 4-hour bus ride to go out to a channel in Indonesia, and then an hour ferry ride on that to get across the channel, and then another 4-hour bus ride to go out to East Java in Indonesia. And we stayed overnight. We went to this village that was doing the eye surgery, and they said, oh, if I remember like hearing about it, like if you can go there and you don't cry, you're made of stone. But I didn't cry. I internalize and overthink things, and the emotional part for me was like you'll get like an old man or a young person. A lot of times the breadwinner that they're completely blind because of cataracts, and you go in the remote ambulance hospital. That's sort of there's 2 of them. You go in there and you watch the surgery being done. First they put something in the eyes like Novocaine or whatever it is, and then they go to the next part of that little. It's a big bus, and they get the surgery done. But it's not like that's like super incredible because then they can see again. You can see them smile because they can see. Mm-hmm. But it's the family members that are there with them, and you're going around. They know that you're there, that you've donated a bit of money, and they're the reason that they can get the cataract surgery. And I just keep thinking like the way that they thank you, and you can see that the joy in their face, because one thing is because they love their family members they can see, but other times, a lot of times it's like the only person that has the ability to earn money in that family is now can see, and they can go get a job, and the 10 other people in the family that have been trying to support that person and can never leave the house are able to do it. So yeah, and you get hugs and smiles the whole time, and it's incredible. And I just think like people here appreciate things in ways that like in Western civilization we take for granted. They just appreciate it. Like I couldn't understand that level of appreciation. It was touching me in a way I couldn't even express. But the point is like I'm going to start doing these lives, and I'm going to start promoting the JFF and Love Heart Travel a bit more, because what I want to do is go on a second trip, but I want to take people that follow this channel on with me. So even if that's 5, 10, or 15 or 20 people, I don't care. I would like to experience that with people that I've been connecting with on the channel. And I don't know exactly how I do that. It could be no people, it could be one person, it could be 20. But I just wanted to talk through that and take a bit of airtime.
And that's an awesome story, man. Super hitting. Like yeah. we take for granted a lot of stuff because we're not in those people's shoes, you know. So that's a great cause to fight for, man. Congrats.
Yeah. And you can come on the trip with me, and I take that as a promise that you will.
I will.
Nice. That's fantastic. Awesome. Cool. All right, cool. I'll wrap it up. I'll put the links and all that stuff in down below, especially the John Foster Foundation, which is already there. Do you have like a shop or something that you sell T-shirts for at this point? I know you've been doing it for 2 months. Is there anything that you got going on other than the Twitch to every once in a while get those Twitch box?
At the moment, like I said, just a Twitch. I also got a Discord so that people can, if they want to join the community, they can join anytime and they can reach out to me personally. Like I respond to all my DMs. I make sure the community is being served, and every time that I hit that stream go live, I make sure I always pay attention to the chat. You know, that's my mission for now. Later, we'll continue to grow. You know, and learn more about this.
Later, when you blow up, we'll have to start getting team members and all that to do that. That's the thing. Like you talk about Discord, that is my Achilles heel, man. I've got a Discord on mine, like frig, man. Like I so want to pay attention. It's just I always forget. It's just not a thing I do. So you're a better person than me. I try really hard. I do answer all my emails and I listen to everybody's music. I've not listened to anybody's song. But good for you for doing that. And thanks for joining us, Teemuth, dude. Like you're an awesome guest. I appreciate you being here. There's other things we're going to work in my head. I'm already thinking there's stuff that I have going on for the future, and I'm definitely going to ask you to be part of that. So,
anytime, man. You gave me the spotlight at the beginning. When I reach out with my project, you were super nice to respond back and then even create this. So, thank you so much for the opportunity of joining your podcast, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Teemuth. Thanks for coming on. Cheers.